Mr. Maui St. Johnny here for the Aloha Friday
It
episode.
it is the Aloha Friday edition, isn't
Man,
it, Danny?
another week, isn't it? Feels like we record once, twice, boom, another week. Let's do it again.
Dude, basically mid-June already. I'm so grateful. I am ready for summer to be over.
It's just getting started for most people.
Dude, summer sucks for
That
surfers on Maui.
no waves. No waves. That's why you got to go somewhere else.
Oh, dude, I'm still surfing. Don't get me wrong, Danny.
Hey, you'll
I'm
be you'll
just
be off to Coronado in a
struggling.
couple weeks. I know that.
That's it. Oh, man, that's true, dude. That's like in a couple of weeks, man.
It, Fourth of
Oh
July.
my
It's like 2 weeks out,
goodness.
2.5.
Yeah, I think we fly out like on the first or so. So yeah, gonna go talk to Aunt Bill and Uncle Marilyn and talk to them about coming over here to Maui. So,
Bring everybody.
dude,
Let's
I can't
go.
imagine what they've gone through. I mean, dodge the bullet with one fire in Topanga, then 3 weeks later, it completely takes them out. They rush, they buy a place in Marina Del Rey that maybe has some issues. And then now you're basically burning down Riot with a mostly peaceful but very fiery Riot situation.
It's been a rough stretch around LA for sure.
How do you pay so much money to live in that that city, dude?
Because it is
I don't
beautiful, man.
get
It
it.
is beautiful. Like
Is it?
Malibu, I mean, up in
Now
the
Malibu,
canyons,
okay.
like I mean,
Yeah.
there is some beautiful spots of LA for sure. And the food, I mean, you like food. There's some really good food around town. So I could see
Okay.
it for some reasons. There's some other reasons I wouldn't want to see it, but I've spent a lot of time there. My uncle was in LA, so quite a few years I was spending summers out there and different stuff. So,
Love it. Probably did
but
look
that
like the promised land, huh? From coming from the Midwest.
cold
Bikinis
tun
and tans. Yeah.
cold tundra with nothing going on, everyone in parkas, yeah,
That's
boots
it.
and overalls. Yeah.
uh
Well, Johnny,
yeah.
there's been so much to talk about kind of every day. Maybe that's why these episodes are going so fast. I think we actually recorded for almost an hour on Wednesday. So
Wow.
yeah, if you're
We need a
we got to tone some things back. But Wednesday's episode, if you haven't caught it yet, we didn't really go into too much on market update, that sort of thing, just because there's so much happening with kind of the Minatoya list and some of the testimony. So we dove into that a little bit, talked, shared stories, personal stories, some thoughts, different opinions, kind of went back and forth on that for quite a while. So if
Yeah,
that's
we
something
did.
that's of interest to you, you just want to kind of get a feel for what's going on Maui, kind of boots on the ground vibes. That's what we're trying to bring you here with this kind of back and forth. Go ahead and check out Wednesday's episode. So
Yeah.
you might not agree with everything, and you might learn a few things.
You can absolutely speed up the speed of the video too. That's how I tend to
2x,
watch videos. There you go. Go
2x.
2x, guys. Turn off the video too. There's not much to see until we
Just
dive into the actual
listen to the voices. You know
market.
how we look.
That's it.
I like it. So that's Wednesday's episode. Check that
Yep.
out. Deal of the week's out there as well. Really cool. Vacation rentable hotel zoned in Napili. If you haven't seen that video, you can check that out from Thursday. Otherwise, what do you think? Should we just jump in?
Let's do it, Danny. Let's go.
We'll try to be less than 6 hours on this one.
Yeah, we're not that interesting.
All right, let's do this.
Dude, kind of a deal, bro. Starting right out the bat.
Hmm.
I hit you with an email on this one. I had to go back to 2021 to find similar pricing. And it's an
How about
outlier.
that? You're
It's
saying
an
that a few
outlier.
times this week. Back to
Dude, I
2021 for
mean,
this pricing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and most recent closing, if I remember correctly, was like 8.25 for a 1-2. Maybe it was in the sevens. But here's the problem, though, right? Look at where you started out in 2024, and maybe the market wasn't as scary at that point. I can't remember, but there it is. You start out, basically a couple 100,000 over. And granted, you were probably pricing, just a little bit higher than the last one, which is the classic aspirational pricing strategy that leaves people feeling like they're losing money. So Maui Banyan is absolutely hotel zoned. Danny and I have talked about where we're seeing like kind of basically common values for hotel zoned. We're seeing studios in the 600s, one bedrooms in the sevens, twos in the 900 plus range, and then threes are always more expensive because they're just rare. So this is a 1-2, 699. So here's the problem though, right? They list it high and
Yeah,
then they've actually had it go into escrow a couple of times.
it did. Yeah.
So not sure what the scoop is there, but this one is an opportunity at Maui Banyan for sure. And they're still hanging around at 191 days. I'm sure that there's some room there. If you have cash, there's absolutely room there, in my opinion. And I mean,
Johnny,
it's got
one of the
split
most
AC, dude.
interesting
Yeah.
parts of Maui Banyan, Johnny, it's one of
Yeah,
the
man.
few hotel zone vacation rentals where you could bring
A dog.
the little Bowser or a little cat or something like that. I mean, under 20 pounds. You don't get many like that where you can actually bring a pet.
That's a great point there, Danny. Great beaches close by. This is Kamaole 2 Beach. There's three of those. You know, we're in South Kihei, so we're close to Wailea. All those beaches have lifeguards and parking areas, etc. Maui Banyan's a vibe. That's a good opportunity there.
So one where you go for rentability. It's
Yep.
less about the lifestyle at Maui Banyan. I'd say more about the rentability.
So here's a great example of a Minatoya list condo that they're pricing with the opinion that it will not change, that it'll remain vacation rentable. I totally get it. I mean, a $2.85 million two-bedroom, two-bath condo does not make much sense for a local family. I am going to tell you if the vacation rentability goes away, it's not like these values crash down into the 500s. This is still Kapalua, gang.
No,
And
not
we
at this sort
have,
of property.
yeah, do we have examples of residential condos in Kaanapali, for example, that still bring a bunch of money? So that's a scoop. They'll just sell much slower. That's what will happen.
Much slower. They'll
Yeah.
come down they might come down a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're definitely
But
not going to,
this
become
one's a
fire
vibe,
sales.
dude. Kapalua Bay, it is where everybody wants to be.
Yeah.
It's 1447 square feet, so it lives large. You can come surfing with me. Little Bay is right down there.
Every day they could come,
That
or at
that's a
least watch you.
vibey condo right there, dude. That is
Yeah.
nice. They have absolutely updated that guy.
Super nice, great views.
Good
Good
stuff.
spot.
I like it.
So far, 29285 isn't doing it though, Johnny. Six
Dude, they're
months on the
just still
market.
pricing it like the market is still climbing in that area, and I don't agree with that. Here we go, a little Kula action. So we've got a two-bedroom, two-bath main house, 1636 square feet, maybe a den in there. I don't know, but kind of bad just to have that many bedrooms. And then you've got another two-bedroom, one-bath Ohana. How big is this? Half an acre lot. So not your typical acreage in Kula, but man, Kula, people love living in Kula, Danny.
They sure do.
Yep.
They sure do. But so far, not for this price. And I think they're still a
Yeah.
bit aspirational for a half acre and
I
that size.
I think they are too, buddy.
You got to be closer to 1617, maybe.
Not a super sexy house there. I don't know if that's a two-car garage. Kihei Resort. What an unfortunate name for an apartment zoned condo. But here we are, $90,000 down, and it's going to remain there because, I mean, of the uncertainty, in my opinion, Danny.
No disclosure on Minatoya list.
Nope. Some people are doing it, some people are not. 1193 for the fees too, and it's across the street from the ocean, yeah.
Across the street, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure is.
So, man, did they not manage it well? You know what I mean? That should be a lot lower, dude, for across the street from the ocean, in
You'd
my
think
opinion.
so. Just a simple pool.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's a smaller complex, so maybe not as much money to go around, but yeah, it's unfortunate.
We will see.
Another one here. I've been in it. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's stunning. Just absolute gorgeous view. There it is.
Look at the view.
Um, 2.35. So priced the same as the Bay Villa, Danny. Arguably, the Bay Villa potentially has more value just because it's closer to the ocean, but this view is panoramic. I mean, it
Let's talk
really,
about that a
really
little
is
bit.
stunning. Yeah, man.
Closer to the ocean, a little bit further away. So positives and negatives.
Yep,
Positives is obviously you're closer to the ocean. You can go right down to
yep,
the beach.
yep,
You get the feel, the smell, the vibes. You can probably command a little bit more on your rent right now as a vacation rental.
yep.
Um, the downside of being closer to the ocean, Johnny, is salt spray, salt in the air, your
Yeah, the windows, the windows.
electronics going bad quicker from all the salt,
Stuff that doesn't
rust, all that
rust
kind of
does
stuff.
rust. Yeah, everything rusts. You find that out when you're living close to the ocean. So
It's
yeah.
really a big deal. You can definitely feel it. I mean, clients that we have over the years that I've talked to, they were like, "Yeah, replace the TV every like 16 months, and we got to do this every 18 months, and like, there's just so many more things that they had to account for cost-wise." So
Totally true.
something to keep in mind. I mean, you
Yep,
obviously get a really nice picturesque view from up here, though you're a little bit further away. Not too much further. I mean, it's still really close to the action.
yep. I've got the guy too, perfectly clear. Gary Dahlberg. He does a nice film on windows to where you don't need to replace them when they become spotty. Same thing in showers. He's done quite a bit. Couple of Bay Villas for the same reason we're just talking about right now, dude. Because yeah, the view is amazing when you can see it.
When you
Wailea
can see it.
Palms, Danny. So this is an example of something that's always been residential only, right?
Yeah.
And when I compare this to Grand Champions, which is also fairly close by, but now zoned apartment and being vacation rented, I don't see much different in the prices. What do you say?
Not much. Not at
So
all,
there's
really.
my argument. As long as it's in a high end resort community, values do remain. It's just the velocity of the sale, right? Because that's the humbug with real estate. They say that the majority of the billionaires, whatever people that make big money, they typically make it from real estate. But the one caveat about real estate is it is illiquid.
Mm,
And the higher price you get, the more illiquid it becomes because you're looking for a smaller group of buyers.
I can actually afford it. Case in point from
Yep.
the big whale the other day that was listed for 65 and closed for 25. So
There it is. What a
there
difference in
you go.
market that says there, doesn't it, Danny?
Yeah. Interesting. Wailea Palms too. Palms of Wailea next door, almost twin complex. That one does allow vacation rentals,
Hmm.
but is apartment zoned, right?
Yeah, let's keep it confusing on Maui, Danny.
And then I heard from the testimony the other day, they're making an argument about that one because they were saying
Mhm.
like, hey, this was pitched as a resort, as a vacation rental. They literally had a sales office in Japan to sell them umpteen years ago when it opened. So it was like, okay, interesting.
In the world of misinformation, there is definitely a lot of misinformation. A lot of it's coming out of people's mouths that should know the correct information as well. Kind of feels like an agenda. Whoa,
Less
somebody waving their hands here, Danny. $51,000 reduction after 39 days in.
classic Maui house, 3-2, a little bit bigger
Totally.
than the usual, 1,600 square feet, newer construction,
Yep. Now, sometimes we'll
139.
confuse you and we'll build houses that look like they're single level. And now this one is, but sometimes there'll be a two-story behind. You know how we do that? Like you see that up at Wailuku Estate, or Wailuku Heights. You
Yep.
pull up into what looks like your single level, but then actually it's a two-story as it goes down the hillside. But
Yep.
yeah, Anohea, I mean, if you like a classic kind of, I'll say mainland style neighborhood, a master planned community, if you would, I mean, Anohea at Kealani is it, right? It's always going to look similar because you have the HOA in there, enforcing rules, regulations, etc. But you definitely get the people here on Maui that could not, they just can't stand that. And like,
Yep.
what? I can't have a mango tree. You're going to tell me what I can build. It's got to look like this. I cannot. So anyway,
No
I
can.
love it. Mom,
All
yeah,
original inside.
it is.
Basic appliance package from the beginning. So I mean, here is case in point. They made some choices when they bought it. They didn't change anything during their ownership. Looks like maybe it was a rental at some point. Haven't changed anything. You're not
Yep.
going to get the not going to get the premium price on it.
So there is a strategy. We've talked about it. New construction on Maui, you buy it, right? You buy it
Yes,
because it
sir.
typically takes a year to build, so you've got some equity when it happens. And typically currently there is a 1 year deed restriction from the developer. They don't want you to start flipping it right away and competing with them. So you have to hold on to it for another year. And so that's where most people will rent it. Oh, here we go. Got a Jen. Yeah, Parkside.
Too bad. 550.
Yeah. That one that sold for 475, the 3 bedroom, Danny, those do cause some changes in a complex. I'm not saying that that's the new price, but it just causes every buyer to pause.
Buyers pause and sellers can't figure it out. Then they start offering little snippets of opportunity. Hey, we'll give you a little more commission if you sell this thing for maybe more than it should be. But yeah, it's interesting. We see a lot of that.
Yeah, they don't want to do the big price reduction, so instead they'll throw 20 grand towards your fees and whatnot and buy the rate down, get you off of price and on the payment, Danny. Just like the old good used cars, buddy.
Sometimes it works.
By far one of my favorite resort style residential communities in Kihei.
Kamakani. And upstairs, you get the
Yep.
vaulted ceilings. Not super spacious, only 800 square feet, but fees aren't crazy considering you do have pool and some good amenities right across the street from the beach.
Nice
Ni-
gym.
Nice
Not a lot of
lifestyle.
storage. Not a lot of storage in those units. That's why you'll see the ones that have a storage closet. They're advertised with it.
Simple
Um,
life. When you're on Maui,
yep.
you don't need much. Board shorts,
This
tank top.
this
That's
one,
it.
Danny. Let's go with 1.2. No, 1.8. Well, let's try. Okay, let's go with 1.8. Bro, you know where this
Uh,
is at?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it, buddy. Especially with some of the issues that you're already hearing about people that want to build along Baby Beach and some of the pushback. And yeah, that was maybe the value of the house back in the good days.
Yeah, because that wasn't necessarily a very nice
Dude,
house, even.
that was a rough section too, bro, and really hard to get into. Yep.
So maybe
So,
maybe the whole idea of land selling very quickly and everyone coming in to scoop it up and get good deals doesn't seem to be still happening, Johnny, two
but
years
I
later.
will tell you, dude, that wave went off last weekend, bro. Mala shined because woo, that wave was going nuts. That's our
And
Malibu, by the way.
you don't have to live there to enjoy the wave, right, Johnny?
Nope, but it helps. So this one, dude, interesting because it's Wailea Golf Estates, but built in '87. No, you're not buying that house. You could turn it into that house. That's the house you're buying.
What?
That's why I was like, dude. Originally, I was like, dude, that's a deal for Wailea. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta remodel it. So that's the
Interesting.
pitch. That's the pitch, buddy.
Buy the 4 milli, put 2 milli into it, and then you get a 6 milli house.
And that's market value probably for Wailea Golf Estates. But yeah,
Yeah,
87, man. They've been there since the get, dude.
it's been around for a while. Nice location.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Got some views. Wailea Golf Estates. Key Hay
So
Villages.
they still coming out in the high fives for a downstairs unit. That's a gorgeous little space there. What say you, Danny? Need to be in the low fives to move these days, mid fives.
I
That's
mean,
one
if
of the
you
one and a
really
halves.
want to move it, I think, yeah, you got to be low fives.
Even
Like
for
it's
these, huh? With the
nothing
yard and
special
everything.
inside. It's kind of
Nah.
updated. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been,
So they
because there
updated.
was a few ground floors that went in the upper fours recently. So
There it is.
599, I think you're going to be
Continues to drift at the Kihei
sitting
villages.
sitting for a while.
This one here starting to come down to earth, pricing in that $1,000 a foot in the old school Kanapali Hillside area.
Why wouldn't you start with this picture and not that picture?
Oh,
Anyway, 3 beds, three
right.
baths, $1,000 a square foot in the hillside, built in
Built in
'89.
89. This feels aspirationally market perceived market value-ish.
Yeah, nice looking house,
Def
lots of wood.
Yeah, man. Yep. So that's
Got
a
some original
definitely
stuff. Hey, that
original.
looks like
That's
your
an
house.
original. It sure does. Same. We only have certain options back in those days, it
There's two,
appears.
two types of options. Yep.
Yeah. But
A
definitely with
little,
all that exposed wood on the top there.
little loft space up top. New
Yeah.
listing. Check
Bonbon.
it out.
Uh-huh. So this one here, they're advertising at a 5.3 cap rate, but then when you pull the actual form, it's actually 4.8, but a little price reduction. This one's taken a dinger from the get. They closed at 630 back in 2022. There's a note on it that they picked up for like 325 was the mortgage at the time.
Hmm.
So I'm sensing there's some room. Not sure why they're exiting so quickly. Kahana Manor is hotel zoned. It's a nice hybrid model because there's a lot of long-term rentals in there as well. It has the updates. It's not a bad portion of the building where you're going to listen to road noise. Has the the updated floors, etc. So I sent this to someone today.
Hmm. Yeah, kind of nice.
It is.
Kind of nice. So, an alternative. If you don't like the
Well, what do I
studio that
like
we
about
put
it?
out as the deal of the week,
Yeah,
then here's the alternative. Here's a 1-1
there it is.
Kahana hotel zone. So interesting. A lot in Kahana is hotel zoned.
Yep. So I like Kahana Manor because it is not on the ocean. Valley Isle directly across the street is, and they're losing their beach to sea level rise. I like that there's two restaurants there. If you've eaten at what's the sushi joint there, Danny? Miso
Little
Fat.
meat so fat.
Miso Fat. That's
Yeah.
it, man. I mean, they've got a cool little downstairs Tradewinds grocery store that's not horrible. They've got a nail salon. They've got a boutique. They've got a snorkel bob. So it makes for a great option. Here we go in Peaky Place. So another Conopoli Hillside in the OG section, built in '03. They took it down by $1,000 just to throw it back on the hot list there, Danny.
So it looks like it's seen some better days. Maybe just a little rustic look.
Hmm.
A little, what are you, like 12, $1,300 a square foot? 1,200
Yeah. Yep.
in the
Yep.
hillside. There you go. Some newer, some older. The advantage is you're out back in the red dirt. Could
I
be a
don't see it,
disadvantage
buddy.
though. Don't
Yeah,
see it
I
either.
don't see it. We'll see.
That's what
Ooh,
you're get. They're probably getting tired of us saying, "I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it." But it's really what we're seeing in the market, right, Johnny? Just
that's
a
all
lot
I'm
of
sharing.
overpriced things. A lot of prices coming down, down, down. A lot of people are waiting to get involved in the market, and it's really coming down. 10, 20, 30, 40% in some opportunities.
We we have corrected. If anybody wants me to pick the bottom, I'm not going to do it for you. Wow, that's rough.
Mm.
Do they slap some floors on there and call it a remodel?
Slap some floors, FHA special.
So hit the map though, Danny. Where is this across the street from the ocean? 1,052 feet for started at 1,600.
Hybrid
That's
special
a bit
for
of a
you.
stretch. That looks like it's a Mahina Hina.
Yeah, that's Lola right there.
Okay. No, no. So it's not Mahina Hina.
This is
But is that
next
the kind right
to
there? Is that Kapolani Estates right next door? Scroll up
think
so I
so.
can see if we're by S turns. Yeah, what is that? Yeah, so there's Mahina Hina. That's Kapolani Estates right there, that little round. So it's just outside of that. That's
Hmm.
action. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for
A
that
lot for what it
condition.
is.
Yeah, for
It
that condition, I
is.
don't see it.
I
It's a
mean,
bigger
started at
bigger lot. Yeah.
1577. I
Yep.
mean, so
So
who are
point
you appealing to on something like this? I mean, I feel like you're appealing to someone who's just going to come in with some bucks and rip it down and build something massive, huh?
I that's what I would see there, Danny. 3 bedroom, 1 bath. That's motivated seller though. Bring all offers.
Super
Vacant and easy to
motivated.
show. Yep. Wouldn't know it
999
from the
maybe.
price. All right, here we go.
Some
Dropped
penders.
it to dropped it 200 grand in 78 days. Finally, we got a taker.
Got it moving.
Decent sized lot. Here we go, Danny. Finally put it into escrow there. Priced it right. I told people about it. It's a deal. No
Oh, it
view,
was.
but man, gorgeous,
That was the
gorgeous
deal.
community. Yep.
699 Wailea. Maui
So
Cam. Still moving to Maui Cam.
still hanging tough, dude. They really are. It is zoned apartment, so somebody's betting that this one's not going to change, but we shall see.
I think people don't care if this one changes.
Hmm.
They like it if they like it if they like it if they like it.
And I mean, there is raving fans.
Hmm.
And when I drove through there, I was like, okay, I mean, all
It's a
right.
nice vibe. It's a nice vibe. You're up on the hillside, I think, right above the boat ramp.
Yeah.
It's a nice little community. Little Pocky Maui
Ooh,
action.
Lucky Maui, Danny. Is that direct ocean front? Yep.
Yeah.
Price is overcoming all objections, buddy.
1-1. 599. It's not bad for direct ocean front.
There isn't.
Boardwalk.
Mmm. Man, pending do not show too.
Ooh,
This is that upstairs one.
cash
Dude,
offer.
that
This one.
remodel next door, that big house there, that thing is sick, dude. Super, super modern style. And look at how much bigger it looks compared to the boardwalk community, bro. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Look
like
at that
bigger.
house.
The
The
house
house
is
is
bigger
bigger
than the
than
whole
the
complex.
complex. Yeah.
So this was the
Yep.
funny one with the extra toilet upstairs in the closet.
That's it. Now that's a vibe, dude. For newer construction.
Look at that.
Yeah. It brought all the money. That was CPR'd. Trippy how they put
CPR.
so the CPR, the main house is the lower one, yeah?
Yeah.
And then they put the main house or the other house up on top there. So yeah, this is what somebody did. If we could find out how much that second one went, that's how you figure out how much this whole compound was worth. I'm gonna estimate that's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath back there, at least 1,000 square feet, and it probably brought one too. So you're looking at a $3 million compound that you probably wouldn't have gotten if you sold it as a $3 million compound,
I
but
don't think
because you
so.
split it up. Yeah, that was a total development opportunity. Somebody built this, purpose built, executed. Well done.
Well done. Arc
Probably only
door.
took them.
Look at
Oh,
that. 7
went
hundy.
they went aspirational. I mean, they went event based after all of that, and that's how it moved.
We
Well,
got it.
they went perceived market. Basically,
The
that's what it brought. Yeah,
market
man.
value now.
Hokai Place. That's a cute house in Kilohana, so that's close to Wailea there as well. That brought the 2.6. Still definitely some wealthy buyers out there, Danny.
Sure are.
Yep.
Conventional loan too, so not everyone's afraid of the rates.
Nope. Somebody taking advantage.
Ooh, Maui
Okay.
Ridge.
Bro, our people did super well if that thing sold for that much. What lot is that? 35.88
Lot 35. There you go.
acres. Hit the map. Let's see where that one was.
Yeah, where is lot 35 at? Kind of in the
Oh, it
middle?
is not up at the very, very top. That's for darn sure there, Danny. All
Nope,
right.
it's like right in the middle.
Yeah, dude.
Looking better and better.
Shout out to the doctors that did well.
The
Ehikolo
Kilohana.
Street. So man, all of North, South Kihei, right on that cusp of Wailea, still doing fine in terms of their values. Maybe come down since COVID, but that's what I would expect for that area. And yeah, I mean, a nicer house, not a mansion by any stretch.
Nicer average house. Nothing
Yeah.
over the top in finishes or
In
interior.
a in a nice location,
In a
million
good
eight
look.
fifty.
1,850,000.
I live in a crazy island, Danny.
Golf villas
Oh,
holding its
sub
value pretty
two
well.
million, dude. Sub 2 million for a 3 bedroom, 2.5. Ooh, that's kind of a deal there, dude.
Someone did well. They moved quick, all cash,
It is.
done.
So yeah, that thing went in escrow within a month or so. Boom. And good negotiation there, man. Cash gets the discount, Danny. We say it every single time. And you're going to ask me, John,
Every
why
single
can't you
time.
get me the deal with my loan? And I'm going to tell you because your loan is a very strong maybe, whereas cash does whatever cash wants.
It feels like an even stronger maybe these days, Johnny, in
Stuff's
financing
falling
from what I'm
apart in
seeing. There's
condo
a
markets, huh?
lot of stuff falling apart. There's a lot of litigation popping up. There's a lot of insurance rules popping up. I mean, even in the housing, you're seeing insurance stuff pop up. You're seeing appraisal issues again for different things, unpermitted. I'm seeing appraisers like jump ship. A couple deals I'm involved with, Johnny. There's the appraisers came in, appraised, said they needed something adjusted, fixed, and now they just totally jump ship. They're like, nope, we don't want to finish this project. Delaying the
Peace
loan,
out.
delaying the loan. So, and well qualified buyers, no issues on the loan, just Maui stuff. That's why you don't get the discount with the loan.
That's it, dude. Is it? I'm not even showing places now until I know I can get my people like at the certain complex that I'm going to show them. That's where I'm taking it these days.
Kind of have to. You don't want to create all the
Yeah,
disappointment, frustration, pain.
that's it. That's absolutely it, man. So,
A wild week. Talked about a lot of things. Spent a lot of
yep.
time on the air this week. So go back, listen 2.5 times, 2 times, 1.5x, whatever. Zip through it. There's a lot of good information in there. If you're ever curious further, if you're on island, give us a shout. Coffee or smoothie on Johnny every time.
Yep. I do want to say something, Danny. If you're a fan of Wailea Ikahi,
Hmm.
what they call Hale Kanapali, Maui Kanapali Villas, the old Hilton, Maui Eldorado, and Papakea. Tune in next week. We may have an update for you. Stay tuned. A little cliffhanger there.
Hmm. And last but not least, if you want to listen in on further testimony on the Minatoya list next Wednesday, starting at 9 o'clock, you can check that out on YouTube or in person. Or if you want to give testimony, I think they're still taking people. So you
A
heard it
lot of
here.
emotions, guys. Yep.
The Hot
Aloha. Happy
List
Aloha Friday.
Hulahan. Woo!
You.